everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of Cuberviews. This is your host, Ian Braverman. Today I'm joined by a really exciting guest from my local playgroup, Kyle Ferguson. How are you doing today?
Great. Thank you for having me, Ian. Excited to be here.
Awesome. I'm excited to have you too. Kyle's been a mainstay of our local playgroup now for a couple years. We cube, as I say, every episode once a week, sometimes twice a week at Games IRL in Avon, Connecticut. If you're in that area and looking for a cube group to join, we're always looking for more cubers. So today we have a really exciting cube to talk about. It's a relatively newer cube, but we've done it a couple times in our playgroup and it's been a lot of fun. Uh, the Democracy Cube. How
Oh
about you
yeah,
tell us a little bit about the cube?
Democracy Cube. It's a little so I have a tendency to start up a lot of projects and not finish them. So there's about 30 cubes on my cube Cobra that aren't finished that I tried starting. And the Democracy Cube is the one I ended up figuring out because I was like, I'm just gonna put all the thoughts I have and focus on getting one done. Because originally the cube I wanted to bring you guys was my custom cube, the card that I make. I love making custom cards. So I made a whole cube of custom cards, and that went I think it went well. The problem is people don't like reading.
That's my issue. I can't read, so.
So yeah, and that's understandable because like even when I was drafting, I was like, oh, I need don't remember all these cards that I made. So I was
Yeah.
like, all right, we'll just make a real card cube, and I ended up with the Democracy Cube. So yeah, I would love to get into talking about it. Should be fun.
Yeah, but first tell us a little bit about yourself. How was your history with Magic? When did you get started? Your experience with Cube and a little bit about yourself outside of Cube.
Yeah, so I started playing Magic about 15 years ago, right before Innistrad came out, in the middle of high school. Yeah, I'm a little old. So, I started playing Magic because I was a big athlete growing up, and I didn't do a lot of that stuff. But then in high school, I got injured and I couldn't play sports anymore.
Oh,
So I had to go try to find an outlet to get all my competitive and my get all the game energy, and that ended up being Magic. So I've been playing it consistently for 15 years, and I love it. So yeah, I've been playing it that long. I'm a math teacher. I teach here in Connecticut. I love figuring out cube statistics, and I love figuring out the different ways to figure out the most optimal lines and strategies in our Magic games. That's what I love the most. So.
awesome. And we played some ping pong in my basement before, but what were the sports that you played? I'm curious. I didn't know that you were a big sports person.
I played basketball and football. Those are the big ones. I travel
Oh,
around a lot playing basketball. A lot of fun.
oh, cool. What was your favorite place that you traveled to?
Favorite place? I played in North Carolina. That was a lot of fun. We played at I forgot what it's called, but Michael Jordan was associated with it, and it was a lot of fun because I grew up in Chicago, so Michael Jordan was everything to me growing up. So
Oh,
it's a lot of
awesome.
fun.
Yeah. I basketball was and football never for me. The only sports I were ever good at were sports with a racket. So
That's fair.
cool. And yeah, I'm really excited to dive into the cube here. So it's a democracy cube. What does that mean?
Sure, yeah, I'll go into the specifics. So, the goals for when I was trying to design a cube, my goal is always for the maximum people to have the maximum fun. Because obviously, someone's going to go 0-3 when you're drafting with 8 people. Someone's not going to have the most fun, but the goal is to have the most fun with the most people. And my favorite parts in Magic throughout all my history playing Standard or Commander or Draft is always when your decisions matter the most. And my goal in the Democracy Cube is trying to make everyone's decision matter as much as possible. So, the Democracy Cube, in a nutshell, is you vote for different themes or cards that you want to have in the cube. Originally, I have it set up for there's 15 card modules that you vote in, and there'd be three per person, and then you would draft out of those. And overall, there is 50 modules. So, for an eight-person cube, there would be 24 out of the 50 that would get voted in.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of fun. We did it last Saturday. A wide variety of different archetypes and different modules that you have included. Uh, what are some of your favorite modules that you have in there?
So some of my favorite modules were I love Enchantress. So I made sure I put a couple Enchantress things in, and I like the mono blue control because it has Cryptic Command, like Vidalcan Shackles, all that fun stuff, and also heroic theme. That's the hardest one I'm trying to figure out how to get playable. I love heroic, but it's a very parasitic archetype. Some of the ones that I've been trying to balance are the Storm. Storm is a hard one to balance. It's either
Yeah.
broken or useless. It's very hard to get it centered around everything else. And Proliferate. Proliferate is a hard theme to try to fit in because it has to be associated with things like counters or infect. And yeah, it's a hard one to get it. And the red green is the color identity in cubes that I think has the least focus across all cubes. And that my one of the red greens was just red green like mid range, and I can't figure out I can't figure out anything better for it. It's the hardest one I have, besides lands, of course.
Yeah, I've had like a similar issue with green white in my queues before where it's like, do I have tokens or do I have counters? And that's like the two options that I feel like everyone has to choose between.
See, no,
But I
I
do
think
like
green white's
Enchantress though.
the Cherish is great. It's very parasitic, and not everyone likes it. But I think green white's actually the most flexible because
Oh
you have
wow.
tokens, enchantress. You can have a pretty good mid range. Hate bears is pretty good in green red with like the green ramp, the red hate cards, and I think you can build a relatively decent green white control deck. That we saw Sam won like a month ago with a green white control deck, right?
Yeah, that was really cool. Sam from the first episode. Uh, tell us what was that deck? What was that? It was like a really intense ramp deck that had like some really big finishers. I'd never seen anything like that. It
Yeah,
was
it
really
was
cool.
wild. It was basically like a green ramp deck with a bunch of wraths, and then it won with like Ezeka's Chariot and Linvala, I think was there, and I think Rampaging Baloth. It was a really weird deck.
Yeah.
It demolished me, so I didn't know how to respond. But yeah, I
Yeah.
love yeah, green one is actually the color I have to cut the most out of everything I make.
And
So
I know that you just talked about having like a little bit of challenges with some compared to different other ones and how some modules are kind of more supporting modules. Like Proliferate is more like it can support things like Infect or Planeswalkers compared to something like Infect, which is really just all in like the module works with itself. What are some of the challenges that you've had with building modules to make sure that a package can be self-sufficient, or maybe there are other packages that work to increase its aptitude?
the way I like to make it, I try to make them all relatively compact. And actually, the next one I'm doing is going to be the modules have 27 cards in them.
Oh, you're updating too. Okay.
Yeah, because the 15 cards, three themes per person just seems very. The when we drafted it last time, there's a lot of cards that were left over that fit into one or two. And I wanted to leave that at most. But to make it consistent, I always need to have at least for the 15 cards at least there was two fixing lands that had to go with the colors. So if it was red, it had a red or fixing or something. And there's always at least two pieces of removal because my least favorite things in cubes is when there's a bunch of cool interactions and then no removal, so it's just two people playing battle cruiser magic. Not a lot of interaction. And then I always made sure there's at least one hate card in the cube, like Relic of Progenitors for graveyard decks, or a Hex Parasite in the counters theme. So, a lot of
Yeah,
fun
that's a
stuff.
really interesting part that I saw with it, having like a purposeful piece to use to beat the strategy inside of the pack. Yeah, you already went a little bit into it, but like, how did you come up with this structure for each pack? Because it's really interesting because heard of other module cubes. I never played one where it's like maybe the cube is 360 and there's 100 fixing lands just to make sure there's enough fixing. But this one's really interesting because the entire cube is voted in. There's no base to it. So every pack has to include fixing for it. Every pack has to include removal. How did you come up with ways to come over this?
So I've heard of things like that before, where it's like there's just lands per person and you put them in, or like there's certain cards that go always in, like counter spell or like Wrath of God or random things. But I basically went through a bunch of cubes. I went through the vintage Moto cube, random popper cubes. I went through actually your proliferate cube was a fun one because that's a great one to how it structures the different themes, how different cards can fit into different themes. So I use that as a basis. And basically I figured out that if I wanted to have consistent decks, I need at least two pieces of fixing in each one. So like the average land fixing was like 4 in the 2.3 in each of them. Some of them had 3 pieces of fixing. The more color intensive ones like Jund. But yeah, that's what I figured out. And then for the creature count, you always want to have a good healthy creature count. Most cubes have at least 30% of the cards as creatures. And I wanted to make sure that in the 50 cards, there's at least 6 creatures. And the hard part was spreading out the converted mana cost. Because you don't want to have some where it's like there's creatures that are just 2 CMC, and there's like 5 of them, and then there's other themes where it's like a bunch of higher cost creatures. Because those themes will work as bad, because they just can't get on the ground as fast. So figuring out the order of it and trying to make the converted mana cost of creatures spread out evenly was another thing. And then you also have to have good removal, like I said. So there's at least 2 pieces of removal, 1 piece of hate, and then just a couple other flex slots, like a non-creature spell that works in the theme, like a Crucible Words or something like that.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, it's so cool to hear your perspective compared to like other people that I've spoken to who are cube owners because I mean, you're a math teacher. You have so much more of the statistical thought behind it. I sometimes think about it that way, but often I'm like, ooh, new card, cool an archetype. I like fit in multiple deck, put in.
Well, I have my pet cards too. Like Sigil of the Empty Throne will always be in the cube, no matter how good it is or how bad it is.
Oh, I love that card.
I don't know, it's so much fun. But I think with cube design, I think it's, I think in like 20 years, if Magic's still making new cards, if they might not be, I think this would be, this and Commander will be still the 2 most played theme, for sure. Just because you have so much flexibility, and I think that with the CubeCon being in its what, 3rd year now? This 4th year?
Yeah, third year.
3rd year, yeah, it's 3rd year. It's just we're still scratching the surface of the different cubes we can make, and I just want to figure out different fun avenues we can go to. And the Democracy Cube isn't perfect. There's a lot of problems I had with it, and I'm updating it a lot as well. But I wanted to try to dive into it and try to figure out the most creative and different ways that we can go to try to see what we can do with it.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, Cube is just an ever expanding thing because we started off like when I was first playing Cube, I was mostly Moto Cube, like Legacy Cube, Modern Cube. It was kind of structured around already existing ideas. But now we've seen such a cool explosion of different types of cubes that not only are around one type of format, for example, but could be about changing the rules of Magic or adding like additional features to the draft, like the voting. And going into that, so how did you come up with this voting system? Like how we've done it before is you actually have a like form that each player like picks the ones that interest them and then on their phone. They open up this form and fill it out, and then the highest picked ones get chosen. It really feels like a democracy. So tell me a little more about that.
Well, yeah, that's what I wanted to. I wanted to feel like in the name, democracy as much as possible. And that's the thing I actually spent the most time was the voting. Not even figuring out the overlay of the modules or what modules. It was the actual voting structure. Because I still think I don't have it right. The one thing important to me when we're meeting and we're cubing is time. We have a limited amount of time, and I don't want to spend so much time being like, all right, what are we voting in? And then we're doing that. And then we also have to draft, and we also have to play the games.
And Sam comes 20 minutes late with his pizza.
With this, he comes in, he's like, sorry, I ordered pizza. We're about to draft. Yeah, go get it. But no, I want to, I value people's time, and I want them to be able to see that their time is valued. So when I pick this, and this is the one we're deciding to draft or whatever, I want to make sure we get through it as fast as possible. So I made a Google form. People vote on their different things, and then it calculated which options go in it. And I think I liked it a lot, where I just had a bunch of the themes, and you picked which ones you wanted in, like a buffet. You're like, oh, I want this, I want this, I want 3 shrimp cocktails, and then I just saw which ones were voted the most. But I like that a lot, and that felt the most democracy. But one of our drafters, who's a big staple, he told me because the 2 times we drafted, he was like, "Oh, I put in tokens both times, and I was the only one who voted for it, and it didn't go in either time because I didn't vote for it either time. I don't usually play a lot of tokens decks, so I was like, I'm not gonna, I don't feel like it. And I want people to be have their voices heard and it to be a democracy. And the one thing that I was wary about was making sure that it wasn't sealed. I didn't want this to become a seal, like, oh, I want this, and then that's my deck, and no one else fights me for it. So finding that balance of having this player have a voice, and then also making it so that it feels as much as like a draft where you can go into other archetypes and steal stuff from other players was a hard balance. And I think next time what I want to do is give everyone like 6 points where they
Oh,
can vote for like they can put like 5 points into one archetype and one into another, or they can put like three and three, or they can put all six into one. So that if they're really passionate about like I want to play, I want there to be a lands deck. I'm gonna put all my points in that. Or if they're like, I don't care, I'm just gonna put like one in red aggro and white aggro or ramp. Then they can spread it out so they can have more choice to play. I want to have that one. I want to try it out to see if that one feels better next time.
yeah, having like a weighted voting system. I like that a lot. So, because like for example, last time we did it was like, I'll just put in 20 different things, and I'm sure that messed up some of the voting.
No, that was great. No, no, it's good because it's. I told you you can put as many as you want, and you still only get 1 point for it. So yeah, no, that was perfect. That's what I want people to do.
Yeah, and so going into some of your like future thoughts and like going forward with the cube, we've drafted a couple times now. It's definitely still like a more relatively new cube. Um, I know we've talked about different things already that you were planning on changing, but like I had a few points that I was thinking about since we last drafted it and was curious like how you're planning to address some of these in the future, for example. Like one thing that we talked about was the representation of archetypes. Like some archetypes, like you said, could be more parasitic or maybe need additional support to really function. How do you plan on addressing them?
So my my design philosophy has always been the same. I want it's in the name. It's in the democracy cube. So you remember it every time. I want the player in charge. Their voice in what goes in the cube is what happens. So adding to that, I think to solve some of the issues, like I said, I'm going to put 27 cards in each of them. So there's more slots for flexible. And the big change I think I want to do is have each archetype just be one color.
Oh, okay.
Because the biggest issue I saw, at least, is like what you were talking about, or what deck you played. Because you played like five color nonsense,
Yeah, I wanted
which,
to get into that.
which is sure everyone's when you focus on fixing, when your priority is like, oh, I want people to cast their spells. Because when people are casting their spells, they're having fun. Even if they lose, at least they got to try, right? And if you have enough fixing, someone's gonna play five color poop. It's inevitable, right?
I love
I
five
do
color
it.
poop.
Yeah, everyone loves it from time to time. So I think I'm fine with that happening like once. Like if there's one player who's like, "Oh, I'm just playing five color nonsense," like, all right, that's fair. But if like more than one people are, then I gotta start looking at stuff. But I think the monocolored thing is makes sense because before with the themes, they're like there's a red, white, and there's some monocolored, some three colored ones. So if you're like, "Oh, I want to play heroic, and I want to play blue red spells," right? Heroic is red and white, blue red spells is blue and red. There's only one color overlap, so you only have half the cards and playing three colors in cube, while there's a lot of fixing, not everyone can do it. So I'm gonna cut back. So there's only monocolored themes, and to have more flexible cards. Like the biggest problem I saw was that there was a lot of cool decks and people had a lot of fun, but there was a lot of cards that were just not going to go into any deck. Like Feather was the last pick in some packs. There's just a bunch of cards that were only going to go one archetype, and maybe no one was playing it, or maybe there was like three cards in the pack that the people wanted to do. So I'm gonna make it less multicolored. All the themes have one base color, and that from the base color, there's gonna be one like offshoot color for each of them. So like for example, when we're looking at what's a good one? Oh, Delirium, green Delirium theme. There's gonna be Tarfire in it as the one red card, cause
Oh, I
it
see.
yeah. And then there's gonna be Thought Scour as the blue card to help me also draw cards. And there's going to be FOMO, Fear of Missing Out, which is a new card from Duskmourn, where it's an enchantment creature and you can discard and draw cards. So there's going to be like most of the cards in the theme are going to be that one color. and there will be a handful of cards that help you branch out if you want to do one color, so you can connect with any color you want to. Because that's
That's
the
a really
ultimate.
cool idea. I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to make it so it's more flexible, but you don't feel punished for not being forced into what it said.
Yeah, because also some of the themes, even there in the modules, support five color poop. Like there's five color domain as one of them, or I think there was four color lands. And I picked both of those because I was like, those sound sweet. And so those even kind of pushed me into five color. And I know that's something that a lot of cube designers, myself included, have had to wrestle with. I've heard on other podcasts discussed before. How do you face the five color poop problem? Is it an issue of lands? There's too good fixing. Is it an issue of too generically good cards? Is it an issue of my players just always go five color poop and I can't stop them? Like there's someone like me in every pod. So yeah, it's really an interesting kind of theoretical design question of how do you limit it and is it even a problem in the first place?
That's what I was gonna say because I think I didn't even realize it was a big issue talking about cube design because I don't see the five color as an issue. The issue that I think they're expressing is the identity less. That's just like, oh, I'm just playing good cards for the sake of playing good cards. Like my deck doesn't have an identity, and I think that's the issue. When you're like, oh, I'm just putting random cards in because they're the best cards available, and I can cast them. And I don't think that's where cube should go, because then every cube will just be five color nonsense, and we might as well not have every land. We should just have every land just be tapped for five colors, which I thought about as a cube, just making so you just put whatever cards you want and you can play in a cube. But the issue is when players are playing that they don't and they're disconnected from what they want to do. They're like, "Oh, I want to play this and this card." And I that's why I try to solve with this like, okay, if I just have one color and then a two color, they can still play the themes that they want, but they don't have to be forced to play in like all the colors.
Yeah, and I think that there are some cards that actually push people into five color. That's something that I've noticed before. Like when I see Ren and Six in a pack, my brain immediately is like, I want to get as many fetches. This is going to let me splash all these colors. I'm going to do base green. I see Golos in a pack, and I'm like, oh, I'm five color. I'm in. So I think it's also a question, not only a question of how much fixing or specific cards. I think that there are just some cards, like I said, that push people into five color. So maybe limiting some of those cards can also help with the issue. I know that this is a big thing that I've heard many people talk about.
Like Leyline Binding and even Solemn Simulacrum, which is a colorless card. I love that card. And I
Oh,
just want to.
sad robot.
But that's a cube staple. It's been in cube since the beginning of cube. But no, I see what you're going for, and yeah, and my goal with a cube, like I said, is to give people voice. And with the proliferate theme and the parasitic theme, that's a hard part to solve. But I don't necessarily even think it's a problem because one of the coolest decks that I saw last week was there's a black green proliferate Yawgmoth combo infect deck that was just really cool, and it went 2-1 just because the card quality was pretty good and the cards worked together and the overlapping of the cards was great and the removal was good and it just seemed like a cool deck to play. And I don't want to get rid of the parasitic themes. I just want to make it so because I want to have the deck to have an identity. I just want to make it so that players can play it and not try to have to dive head first. Because that's the hardest part in Cube. Everyone at the start's like putting their feet in the water, like, should I take this Goblin Guide or should I wait or should I take?
Fetch land or ooh, what do I take?
Yeah, be safe. When we'll talk about later with the pack one pick one, which you show me, because I'm a boring pack one pick one player. Uh, Even I like I slowly put my foot in the water. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go green and then black and then force myself. I don't dive in easily. So that's one of the things I want to fix with the cube.
Yeah, I mean that sounds great. I'm really excited to see the next iteration that has the 27 card pack. I think that that's a really cool idea to have it be, and I think the monocolor is a really interesting idea because having it be so there's monocolor themes, but then also like a couple multicolor cards in the pack or a couple cards that could push people into different directions. If there's enough of those little like spread out cards, then it'll maybe create some really interesting archetypes that we hadn't even thought of, like green white ramp control.
Yeah, no,
And
that's what my goal is too.
another big question is is it an issue or does it not matter if every color is fully represented in the cube to you? Like, what if everyone voted for red and there's just no blue? Or is that a problem to you, or do you not care, or do you think that that's an interesting part of it?
I think that's one of the most interesting parts to see the color. And so far, the last two times, the colors have been actually pretty well distributed. There hasn't been a lot. Like the first time we drafted it, there's a lot less blue than I would expected, and the last time we drafted it, there was a lot less black. The black was the least, which is weird because I voted for a lot of black because I love my favorite deck to play is blue black control nonsense. So I voted for all that, and it didn't make it in as much. So I don't care if the colors are represented. If everyone just votes for a red cube, I don't care because that's what people want. If like people later are like, yeah, I didn't like it as much because I didn't see all the colors, then maybe I'll go back at it. But if it's what people want to play and it's what they're voting for, like I don't give a crap. Like that's what we're gonna do. So,
Yeah, you're the king of, oh, I'm not Reanimator. I'm not Reanimator, I swear. Ah, though the Entomb was third pick, how could I not go into it? I was being pulled into it. It's the same with me when, oh, the Ephemerate got passed. I couldn't stop going Bant Blink. It's not my fault.
all right. So, all right, this is a meme around our cube drafting thing. So, I play Reanimator more often than not. And the sad part is that my win rate with Reanimator is below 500. Very clearly. It's like close to average one and two. But my win rate not playing Reanimator is pretty good. Like I have like a pretty high win rate not playing Reanimator. I just can't not do it. The last time I drafted Reanimator, I went 0 and 3, but I opened up a third pack and I picked Thoughtseize, and then Reanimate, the actual spell Reanimate, came back to me. So what? They're like, play it.
What
What?
was I
What?
supposed to do?
I can't not do it.
I think that's such a fun part when you have a set cube group that like the regulars that come every week is people kind of have their thing that they're known for. Like Micah, who we're gonna be having on, I think for the next episode. He's the aristocrats guy. He's always aristocrats. Don't go aristocrats when he's in the pot.
Yeah, I'm trying to sort of force myself to being as the red white aggro player. Like, oh, don't draft a lightning bolt or a goblin guide when I'm there, but I can't get rid of that name.
And so,
But
what have been some of your favorite, like most memorable cube decks and moments that you've seen in this cube? Like, what are your say some of your favorite interactions that you've seen?
so last week when we played it, I got crushed by the green red lands and enchantress deck. Like it was a weird combo where he had
Oh, is that Adam?
yeah, that was Adam. He
Yeah.
played a lands deck with Crucible, fetch lands, Courser Crufix, all that fun stuff, Dry Disease and Growth. And then he also had an Enchantress theme with, like I said, Sigil's Entry Throne. So he just ramped with his land stuff and just spanned all his enchantment removal. And I was like, I just got ran over. Because I was playing Luris deck, which I think I'm actually going to take out the
Your
companions.
deck was gross. Oh,
I won 1 and 2 with it. I barely won a game. It was weird to me.
yeah,
Because
Luris plus
Crux,
Kroxa. Oh, that's disgusting. And then also Chthonian Nightmare plus what was the whenever you cast a third path iconoclast? Disgusting. You just get a 1/1 that you can sack over and over again to bring something back. How do you beat that? I had no way with my four color poop deck.
I think I Chthonian Nightmare Crux 4 times in a turn. And that's how I killed you, right?
Yes, that was gross, disgusting.
Off
Because
the tokens.
Kroxa, it has escape, but you can also just keep doing it over and over again from the grave with something with Penothonian Nightmare to just bolt your opponent's face over and over.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And stuff like that. I love my deck last week. It was great. The companions are a cube oddity because first of all, do you do the old rule or the one that's rule right now? And second of all, the power level is so wild. Like Luris's decks can be like some of the grossest. It sometimes is not even a good card, depending on the cube. And Lutri is just a free 3 mana 3/2 with flash, let alone casting a free spell off of it. So I got rid of the companions for the next.
Oh, you
I
did?
want to
Okay.
yeah, because it's also 5 color, and I want to get away from that.
True.
I'm gonna put a couple
Because you
in.
had them all in a package, one module together.
Yeah, one module was companions. I had the 10 companions, and then I had five uh backsided lands from Modern Horizons 3, the flip lands. Uh so that they can go into like whatever commander they wanted to. But yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that. I think that's too of a niche because everyone feels like because they see commander like, oh, I want to try that out, and then it may or may not be good. I'm trying to limit that kind of stuff.
I was companioning Giganta because I was like, I'm five colors. Of course I companion Giganta. But then I had to pass all these insane cards. Like passing Prime Time hurt my soul. I was like, this card is so perfect for my deck with Field of Dead and everything, but I'm already so deep into the Giganta brain that it probably would have been better to not
Yeah,
play Giganta, but it's fun too. It gives you a different idea while you're drafting.
like, and they're definitely fun. Like, like I love Garuda as a companion. It's so much fun. It's not good, but it's a lot of fun to play, and I hope to get that back in. Another deck that I like was the first time we did it. I drafted Jund Control with a Punishing Fire Grove of the Burn Whirlers,
Oh yeah,
which
gross.
was it was so great. It was a lot of fun. The removal felt good, but not broken, and the games felt like they mattered. They felt like back and forth, and that was a lot of fun. The one thing the last time we drafted though was that there was two Is It decks, and they were both pretty good. I think they both ended up going 2-1, and they felt very different. One of them was like a spells with like Crackling Drake and Young Pyromancer, and the other one was just like an aggro deck with like Robber the Rich and Tishana's Tidebinder and just a bunch of and they felt different even though they were the same colors. And that's what I was going for. That made me so happy seeing that. I was like, oh, perfect. Like seeing that two people who wanted to draft the same colors clearly like doing that got to be able to do what they want to, and it was great. It was
Yeah, I
powerful.
think that's one of the really cool things about this cube is the different colors can all, based off of what's being voted in, do such a wide variety of different things. You could be playing blue and then the self-mill package got brought in, or the blue-eye control package, or the tempo package. And I think that's like going back to one draft that I had in my Bant cube a while ago. One of my favorite decks that I've seen that cube is my friend Peter was mono green ramp, but he also was playing Enchantress. So he had like, what is the name of it? The two mana Enchantress in green that taps for
Oh,
each enchantment you
Argothian.
control.
Oh, I know. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, but that card was insane in his deck because it was just a huge ramp piece. And it also, another issue that mono green ramp has often is running out of card draw. So things like Setessan Champion gave him so much great card draw that it created this really cool and interesting deck. So I think when different archetypes are allowed to overlap, it can cause some really cool things. So yeah, so how about we jump into the pack one, pick one? Or actually, before that, what are some of the newest Dustmourne cards that you're excited about?
So, for Cube, I love all the Overlords. I think they're great. I think they're right on the power level that they should be. It will not be broken. And I think they're just so flexible. You can put them in a lot of decks. They seem like a lot of fun, especially the black one. The black one just seems like so much fun.
I gotta pick up one of those for Rakdos Cube. It's so good.
And it makes Ephemerate better, your favorite card.
Oh yeah.
You're like, oh, okay. Ephemerate it. All right, now I get a creature again. So great. The land
Well,
cycle, I like.
you can't ephemerate the Enchantress side, the enchantment
Yeah.
side.
But
But
once they get back up.
you can like Displacer Kitten it, and that's hot.
Oh, sorry, Displacer Kenny. Yeah. What's the? Is I thought there was a blink spell that worked with it.
Oh,
Is it? It's not. It's not Ghostly
Ghostly
Flicker.
Flicker. No, that
Those are
can't be enchanted.
artifacts. Oh,
Mhm.
dang. All right, now I'm less excited for him. But I also like the land cycle. I like the lands where it taps one color automatically untapped, and then it does another. They have a basic land. I think that's great for cube. There's a
Those are
lot more.
really cool. Yeah.
There's a lot more basics fooling around. But I think the favorite card is probably FOMO, the fear of missing out, like I talked about earlier. I think that card's just so fun. I love enchantments. They're my favorite type. And it being a 2 mana 2/3 loots and then has an aggressive theme to it as well. It being a 2 mana 3/3 with an extra combat is just it's such a fun card. It goes into every deck that every red deck essentially.
I think they did such a great job with the set with Delirium because it had so many of the cards in the set are two types, like FOMO being an enchantment and a creature, but it also fills the grave with the loot. Or, for example, another card that I really like is Patchwork Beastie, the one drop in green. That's an artifact creature, 3/3, and you can't attack unless you have Delirium or Block. But on your upkeep, you can mill a card. So it itself is two types, and it can fuel Delirium. So I think that that's a home run from the set.
That is in the upcoming Green Delirium pack, so you can
Oh
vote for it next.
yes, I love that card. Went right into Bant Cube and Peasant Cube.
Oh, and Omnivore's Flytrap. That's from this new set, right? That
Yeah, that
card is
card's
fun.
really cool.
Yeah.
I've seen Aspiring Spike do some gross things with that, with like Arena of Glory to give it haste, and then they get six types, and then it just like insta kills the opponent. It's super cool.
Yeah, that stuff's wild to me. Yes, this is just a lot of more fun. And it doesn't feel like super powerful like the MH3 set. The cards just felt too broken for Cube. Like Nadu feels gross when it's cast and you have any sort of thing with it. Flage is broken. And so
Yeah,
I like Flage makes Procent Uro seem like chump change, which is sad to say because I love those cards.
don't say that
But
about my boy Uro. I love Uro.
look, I
Yeah,
I
but
cast Croak.
MH3 was gross. Such a powerful set.
No, and yeah, and I like Dustmore. I think it's a great power level, great cube power level cards coming in.
Absolutely. I was surprised how great a set it was. And I think I've only done pre-release for the set, but I want to do more drafts of it. I've heard it's a great draft format too.
Yeah, it's been fun. I think a great stuff for like Popper Cube is that the new Beaumont Courier. I forgot what the name of it was.
Oh yeah. Or
The
you're the one like the one drop that when it dies, you exile the top card and then you can
yes,
play that.
that one.
The Unlucky Witness. Yeah, that card's
Yes,
yes, that card is great too.
yeah,
That
that
one
card's a lot of fun.
I gotta pick up one of those. Cool. Well, let's jump into a pack one, pick one now. I have one here. Just a disclaimer, this is a little bit of a strange pack one, pick one because normally you would be voting in the modules and then so this was just from all the cards in the cube. So it's a little bit disingenuous of how it might be, so but that's hard to do because we didn't know what would be voted in. Uh so the pack here, if you want to read it, Kyle.
Sure. So the pack is Blood Crypt, Battlefield Forge, Charter Course, Eternal Witness, Siphon Insight, Golgari Thug, Restless Fortress, Murderous Redcap, Caravan Caryatid, Carven Caryatid.
Yes, that's a tongue twister.
Yeah, Lightning Helix, Charming Prince, Dryad Arbor, Rampaging Raptor, Murmuring Bosk, and Thousand Moon Smithy.
Oh, the Smitty, it's so good.
So I already see here it's so much fun looking at all the different archetypes. Like Carven Caryatid's from the Big Butts archetype, which is my
Oh,
favorite. The
Door in the
toughness
Siege
map, the
Tower.
door and the Arcades.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. I don't think that's been drafted yet. I want to see that get in.
no, and it's I voted for. It. I love it. I tried to make a cube with it, and I think I'm gonna make it like a four-person cube where
Oh,
it's like
cool.
you have the emblem where well, defenders can attack as though they have defender, and creatures deal power with their toughness. I think it's a fun like little cube to draft. But
Yeah.
back to this pick one, pick one. What are your thoughts on it? This
I mean,
is,
there's a few cards that I mean, you know
I mean, you're gonna
me.
pick Eternal Witness, obviously.
Eternal Witness and Charming Prince. I mean, but they're both so good. I can't pass that. But other than
No.
that, there are some other great cards in here, like Murderous Redcap. Are there any like persist combo capabilities?
Oh yeah, that goes with the Melira pod. It's in the
Oh
birthing
yeah.
pod, so you have it with Vizier or Melira, sacrifice outlets. Yeah, it also can go in the Goblin deck.
It's really cool how you have some more like there's a wide variety of different types of archetypes. You have, for example, the Jeskai twin package, which is like all about combo and the Melira. So I think it's cool that you've catered to many different types of players in that way. But in this pack, I can't pass Eternal Witness. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes when you sent me this. I was like, he's picking Eternal Witness. Like, this is no question, and that might be the pick. The first card that came to my mind because I'm boring is Blood Crypt. I just love mana fix and I love playing black red.
Are there
So
fetches in any of the arc in any of
yep,
the modules? Okay.
that's like I forgot to talk about that. The land is one thing I might be going to not a one of. Because just putting there's all the fetches, all the shocks, surveil, tri-lands, all that fun stuff. No OG duels. Um, but I think just to like not speed run, just to have everything consolidated, I might do two of each land, like two
Mm.
fetches, two shocks. But yeah, all there's fetches in there, so fetches can get blood crypt. But what I put down for this pack one is I'm taking Thousand Moon Smithy.
Oh,
I love that
I love
card.
that card. I just cut it from Cube. I might put it back in.
You got to put it back. It's not a good card, and I even earlier I said I don't dive into things, but that card is just such a fun dive into card where you're like, it's the only white card that goes into the theme of this pack, right? There's no other artifacty in this pack, and there's no other token theme.
True.
So you know that no one's gonna be fighting you on the left side, and it's just a very grindy, powerful card.
I think Thousand Moon Smitty might be one of the cards that I read it the first time and I was like, this is so sick. And then you read it over like five more times and you keep finding more restrictions on the card that are just so upsetting. Like at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase. So you have to wait till your next turn. And then also you have to tap the five creatures, but
Or
uh
artifacts.
or artifacts, but you have to have five on your pre-combat main phase. You're like basically letting shields down for a turn. But once you flip it, I mean, it can be really strong. So it's definitely a really interesting first pick to go in that direction.
Oh yeah, and the other one I thought was a Charter Course, because I definitely don't play Reanimator, and I wouldn't want to put that in my deck. Charter Course is just a fun. It's just a great card. I love having card draw low blue drops. Like my favorite card in low power cubes is uh, uh Hard Evidence.
Oh yeah.
The one makes an O3 crab and it gets a like I just like cards like that. And Charter Course is just efficient, gets to your deck. It's a lot better in the limited environments than it is in the 60 card decks.
Charter Course is great. I mean, it's just card draw two for two is always great, like a Knight's Whisper, and then also it feels the grave. I totally can see that.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so this was a really cool pack. And yeah, so Kyle, it's been awesome having you on. I definitely want to get you on here in the future to talk about your custom cube too. That's something I really want to talk about. And do you have any other last thoughts that you want to say to the cube world?
No, I just keep on queuing. Queuing is so much fun. I love it. It's the best way to play Magic. And I love hearing new ideas for cubes. So if you have any ideas, send them to the show, send them to me. It's great. I have a bunch of things trying to figure out how we can go forward in our cube world.
Yes, awesome. And
Mhm.
yeah, so thank you everyone for listening. Please, if you haven't, like and subscribe, and hope to see you all next week for another fun episode. And have a good day, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.